I have an in-studio guest for the next 2 hours, the governor, the 83rd governor of the state of Georgia, Brian Kemp, joining me. Welcome.
Hey, good to be back with you, Eric. Thanks for having me on.
So, I want to let you give a preview and talk policy with you. I saw the headlines from various reporters and whatnot around the state. Oh, he didn't delve into policy in his inaugural address. And I get that, but I actually want to start with your inaugural address because believe it was Jim Galloway of the AJC who pointed it out, and I've got a column coming out in Macon on Friday that actually makes it more precise. You're the first governor in the history of Georgia to be born after Brown versus Board of Education. In school integration had happened after or before you were born, going through it. You talked about that, alluded to it with Coach Henderson and building a football team, and it really is a striking generational contrast that we've now reached with you as governor.
Well, look, I was very excited about the inaugural address. It was a great day. Things went off well. I'm very appreciative to our transition committee and our inaugural team that really helped get me in a position to hit the ground running after I took the oath of office as the 83rd governor. Very humbling experience, but I'm also very grounded. I know I got big shoes to fill in our state. I'm ready to go to work. I'm prepared to do that. My life experiences have brought me to that. You know, growing up in Athens, some of the experiences that I talked about in the inaugural address and what I've done in the private sector, working with all kind of different individuals in the construction field and many other, in agriculture as well. Serving in the legislature, serving with a lot of great people that are still there on both sides of the aisle, and then also working with many of them as Secretary of State. So we're ready to go and start working on the things that, unfortunately, some of the media did say I didn't have detailed policy plans. That's not true, but I've got a great opportunity to prove to people that I do.
Well, and so the State of the State is tomorrow, and I just want to focus a few minutes on the bridge building. I thought the greatest sign of reaching across the aisle and finding unity and building bridges is that you, of all people, had your inaugural ceremony at Georgia Tech.
Yeah, I've had a little bit of a grief from that, but
I know you needed to make Jeff Duncan feel comfortable.
I did, and Jeff had a nice little funny line in his speech, and I had something kind of unplanned in mind that worked out pretty good with Coach Dooley being there, and so that was a lot of fun. But look, it was a great venue. I want to be an efficient governor, and logistics was important yesterday to save hopefully the metro commuters with all that was going on with the different festivities and events that are required and that are the right thing to do when you're getting inaugurated as the 83rd governor. And it was just close to the Capitol. It was a good venue. And, quite honestly, with the Super Bowl coming up, there's a lot of things that are tied down, but it just worked out great. I thought the setup was really good. We enjoyed being there, and it just turned out great.
One of the things you did talk about in the speech policy-wise that I know in the State of the State you're going to expand upon is the teacher issue and giving pay raises to teachers. And one of the bits of skepticism on the campaign trail that's continued over in some media reports is how are you going to be able to pay for teachers when you're not going to raise taxes?
Well, that's exactly the plan, and we'll be talking more about that tomorrow. We announced this morning that the Eggs and Issues breakfast, our plan for school safety was $69 million in one-time money in the amended budget to give a $30,000 grant to all 2,294 public schools in our state to help them secure our schools and keep our kids, teachers, and administrators safe in the environment which they're in. Also talked about our plan for mental health and addressing that in our high schools, and we'll be talking more about that tomorrow. But the teacher pay raise is absolutely a priority. People that know me, they know that when I say something, I plan on doing it, and that's exactly what I'm going to do, and we'll talk about that tomorrow. I did say this morning that it will be a historic pay raise that we will be talking about for our educators tomorrow.
Have your administration begun, although early in the administration, finding sources of revenue to be able to allocate to something like that?
We're very comfortable with where we are on the budget. It's going to be a conservative budget based on the growth that we've seen in our state, but also taking into account what we learned in the transition of some potential choppy waters ahead when you think about the trade issue that's going on now, just uncertainty in different markets with Brexit, and that we didn't even know until the last couple of days, and how all that filters out. Our economy is very strong in the United States, and I give a lot of credit to the president for that with the tax cut and a lot of other things that have been going on. Obviously, our state is in a very good position because we've had great leadership, I think, under Governor Perdue and Deal, and they've left the state in a very good financial position. It's my job to keep that, but we've got to continue to keep us competitive with other states around the country and with international markets. So we need to continue to have a low cost of business in Georgia. We need to have, an educated and ready workforce, and we have the talent, especially in the metro area, but we have a lot more to do there, and that'll be a focus of my administration. But we also, I think, need to continue to lower taxes. So part of the job of our budget team and our mission with the Putting Georgians First Commission, which I've created by executive order on the first day, which I promised I would do, would be for us to look at cutting regulations, government red tape.